Hey guys, welcome to the GSL Code. I am Wolf, and with me is Kaldor, and you can see on screen right away what our matches are going to be today. It's going to be Lure against YugiOh, Tree against Ghost King, Puzzle against Creator, and then last but not least, Happy against Ryung. A pretty exciting lineup of matches for our first part today. How are you feeling, Kaldor?
I'm so looking forward to this day. We have awesome games, and I have to make a confession. I think the game that I'm looking for the most to in the first group is actually Lure against YugiOh, which might be a bit odd to a lot of people.
No, I'm looking forward to that one perhaps the most. What's really interesting to me actually is going to be Puzzle against Creator too, though. In fact, Tree against Ghost King will also be awesome. Like, I just don't know, man.
I actually think that Ghost King is going to annihilate Tree. I might be wrong here, but I think he's a huge favorite.
I agree. I just want to see him do it, man. I love Ghost King.
Puzzle against Creator is going to be a good one, but I'm a little bit of a YugiOh fanboy, I have to admit that. He's not the best player out there. It's not like he's like GSL champion material, or maybe he will be at some point, but right now he isn't. But I just like his openings and his flexibility. But well, guys, let's just head into the first game. It is Ohana. We have Lure against YugiOh, Protoss against Zerg. This is the GSL Code with Kaldor and Wolf. We should have talked a little bit longer. I really like this song. I have to ask him later what it is. I actually like that.
It's not bad, yeah. It's pretty good.
Okay, so we have to the bottom right in the red color our Protoss player. This is OGS Lure. He was able to defeat his teammate Inca in the first round.
Oh, he joined OGS?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He was formerly part of RS,
yeah.
And now he's an OGS player.
Did RS disband? I heard that they came up, they were called Rising Star, and they fell apart very quickly afterwards.
And the Rising Star fell. I actually don't know if they disband. I know that they had a bit of trouble, at least with the space, because the foreign players that stayed at their place, Nama went back to Europe. He planned on doing so after the Code A qualifier, and Death Angel is currently staying at the GOM house. He kind of told me about it, but to tell you the truth, I forgot about the details. So I just heard that they didn't have the space anymore, and I'm not sure if they disbanded or if they are still alive and kicking. Okay. But yeah, to the top left we have our Slayers player. It is YugiOh. And the one thing that I really love about him, I talked about this in the past, is that he's a player who really likes to go for a Nexus steal, so he tries to place down a hatchery. He just has weird timings. I don't really say weird, he just has extraordinary timings and build. He's very creative, and this is something that is really important today. TLO was known for styles like this, but that was back in the beta when nobody really figured out the game, when like stable builds did not exist. And being able to just mix it up a little bit in today's, I would say, environment, or at the state of the game as it currently is, that's something that I really think is admirable. And yeah, he's definitely a very creative player.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You sometimes see these newer strategies come into play, and that's what I really like to look for as a caster, is creative styles that are new and different, and even old styles coming back, for example, being adapted, being changed. I like to see that.
And what just amazes me with him is that he's able to pull these strategies off at this level of play. You have a lot of players, especially on the North American server, who are famous for extraordinary strategies, but it's one thing just laddering it up a little bit on NA, and another one competing in the GSL and still be able to pull all these strategies off. And YugiOh, he figured out these timings, so usually if something like this occurs, the timings of both players just suddenly are completely screwed up and they are starting to freestyle it. But YugiOh, with all the experience that he has with those builds, he knows exactly how a hatch steal, how something like this will affect his timings, and this will give him usually a great advantage over his opponent.
Absolutely, man. He has shown time and time again that when he does the hatchery steal, he knows how to transition out of it. A very, very smart player. Like you said, really plays things differently. He changes up timings a lot. He throws kind of a wrench into the gear of normal Protoss builds oftentimes with that. This probe will go up here just to verify the hatchery is there. Unfortunately for him, though, will not be able to scout any further. He saw a lot of Zerglings there, which is kind of scary in some ways. You might be thinking, why are there that many Zerglings? But it's probably not something he's going to really react to.
With YugiOh with the normal build this time. So on Ohana, he decides to, stick to the basics. And, well, Lure, on the other hand, he was a player that did quite surprise in his first match. Everyone thought that Inca would be able to defeat him, but Lure played really well. It was not like a fluke or some kind of cheese that he pulled off, but it was Inca who tried to go for DTs. It was Inca who tried to go for early aggression, and every single time Lure was able to hold, he was able to defend, and then took the games.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to watch him play, and this is why I love this match so much. On the one hand, you have the king of Code A, what he's called. You have YugiOh with all these variety in this play, and then you have Lure, a player that might be able to make a bit of a splash for himself, to make himself known in the Code A if he's now able to defeat YugiOh.
He requalified this season, in fact. He was in the last season of Code A. He lost his first match to Brown in a PvP where Brown cheesed him twice, once with a cannon rush, the second time with that proxy stalker rush. We had a very weird best of 3 that occurred very quickly. It was over in like less than 20 minutes. And that was last season. And that may be, Brown may have chosen those strategies because of Lure being so scary in PvP, and being able to beat Inca, for example, is not easy in PvP. We do see a Void Ray build coming out here from Lure. He's going to find out fairly soon that his opponent has not taken the 30. He did already check for that, but he's going to be able to quickly verify that again. And with this Void Ray, may be able to do a little bit.
What I've seen done by YugiOh just recently was a build where he went straight on 2-base Infestor. And this is maybe something that he plans to do on this map as well.
Like
usually, if you see this, you would say, okay, well, this is going to be a Mutalisk build. You have 4 gas already, you're attacking very fast, you don't have a 3rd base, you're on 2 bases right now, and you're scouting, so maybe you throw down a few Spine Crawlers as well. This is definitely Mutalisks. But he already has shown in the past that he might just go for an Infestor build. We have him with the Roach Warren now at 7:30, so that's usually the timing when you would build the Roach Warren, but he does not have the 3rd base that most players get.
This Infestation Pit does get brought up here, and this is basically, you've predicted this 100% correct. This is going to be a very unique version of a 2-base tech build. You know, normally, like you said, you do see Mutas with a build like this, with no 3rd base, the fast 4 gases, but Mutalisks are starting to fall out of style right now. The Infestors do give you a lot of defensive capabilities. Something to note that we didn't talk about, though, is there's a 2nd Stargate now up and running. He's actually gone double Stargate here, and Infestor play can actually be quite good against that.
The one thing that YugiOh really has to watch out for, though, is his Infestors. If the Phoenixes sweep in and just lift the Infestors, then he's in a lot of trouble here, and it has to make sure that he gets the Fungals off first. And I think he will be able to do it. Right now he's trying to take his 3rd. There is already a Void Ray in position, and Lure is even getting the +1 attack upgrade. I just casted Elfie against Imaga yesterday, where Elfie pulled the double Stargate build, and this can be so strong against Zerg, especially if you don't scout it. More Queens are being built now, and I'm not quite sure. He has the Evolution Chamber, but there are no Spore Crawlers just yet. He builds the Infestors, and he's losing another Queen. You need 4 Phoenixes in order to kill a Queen with 1 lift, and he definitely has 4 already, and he has the Void Ray too.
Yep, he does lose the charge on the Void Ray, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter with more Phoenixes coming in here. YugiOh could be in trouble. He needs more spores than just 1. These Infestors alone will not be enough, especially if they come out 1 at a time and get picked off.
He needs to get those Fungals off immediately, but the Infestation Pit has been scouted, so Lure knows exactly that there will be Infestors very soon, and he's kind of camping on the ground where he can lift off Infestors. Here they are,
we go.
And he's lifting the first one. Nice Fungal there, though. He's going to lose 1 of these Infestors, but he does not.
He didn't chain it. I don't know why he didn't chain Fungal. Yeah. Meanwhile, now all the Queens are dead, he's still damaging that hatchery over on the right side with his Void Ray. He's stopped production of his Stargate units here, but I think he's probably going to add some gateways and gear up for a timing push now that he's done this much damage. The hatchery on the right side will absolutely fall, it looks like. I'm not sure why we're not taking a look at that, but it's actually going to fall. It does fall at the right side of the map.
It's dead now. The hatchery just died, and the problem that I have with this build right now, or that Lure has, is the amount of Infestors. He's still... Look at him, he's going for the Fleet Beacon as well, so he is really committing to air. This is something that we don't see all that often. He's building a 3rd Stargate. Yeah, he's really committing to this.
He's going to go into carriers with this 3rd base, most likely. He could possibly get the Anion Pulse Crystals upgrade. It does take out that gas as well as the hatchery, so that Void Ray being worth so much right now. But I think he's probably going to get +2. He's going to get carriers with this. This is something that we've seen. The only time I've ever seen something like this was actually from Genius.
How awesome is this game? I mean, seriously, this is exactly what I wanted to see. It's so nice if you see like perfect play on a map, and with the styles that have been already played hundreds of times, and all those nice decisions and micros, just the tiny little changes, and now we see something completely different.
Yeah.
2 base infestor against carriers. Yes, hell yeah.
The first carrier
here we
is
go.
in production. He's starting +2, just as we predicted, man. And he's following this up with a few additional gateways because he knows that carriers alone will not be able to sustain his bases. He might get hit by a counterattack. The Zerlings plenty are out on the map. In fact, 30 right now, and he could potentially make more. Needs to have some ground army with this, but right now we have Roach Speed finished. We have Roach Burrow Movement on the way, as well as +2 for the Roaches. It'll help the Queens a little bit as well. But he has no Hydralisk Den. It's almost as if he does not expect the follow-up here. Now, are Hydralisks even really the answer against carriers? I don't think anything is really the answer against carriers. You just don't let your opponent get a lot of them.
Get Corruptors. The problem is with the Hydralisk right now, you still have the Phoenixes in play, and he has the Starports that he can produce additional Phoenixes. Hydralisks are light armored, and as soon as you have a decent amount of Phoenixes, you can't just swoop in and take them down. So I don't think that Hydralisks are the best choice here, especially because they're very mobile. So with the Corruptor composition, with Infestors, I think you will definitely have the better choice.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. The problem is he doesn't have a Spire, and he can't really afford to make that transition right now. He's trying to take another base. His third base has been remade. It's now saturated. He's double mining gas from there.
I'm enjoying this game so much. I mean, guys, I hope that all our premium viewers today are really having fun here, because those two players, they are really giving you a treat.
They absolutely are. These Infestors are going to come in here, dropping a ton of Infested Terrans. He's going to try to break through with these Roaches. The Roaches are armored, and the Carriers are not in position to defend, so he actually may be able to get this Nexus. He's not targeting it, though.
Look at these Infested Terrans. There are a ton of them. A lot of these Phoenixes already dead, and now Lure is in trouble.
Oh, he's targeting the Nexus now.
This Nexus is going to die. There's no way of saving it. It's down, and Lure is really in trouble here. He has only 3 carriers. He's still researching the next attack upgrade.
And, this is something that Genius did not do either in his game that I cast on the same day that Lure played, if I'm not mistaken. He did not research Graviton Catapult, and that's actually a really big deal. It actually increases the speed that the carriers launch the interceptors so significantly. I'm really surprised to not see that research. It's almost as if, you see carriers so very infrequently. It's something that you forget about. In StarCraft 1, there was no Graviton Catapult research. There was increased capacity of interceptors, but that does not exist in this game. He is getting +3 air weapons, though, and that's going to help his carriers do a ton of damage. For example, if he can fight these Corruptors straight up, where the Corruptors are unupgraded, he's going to tear them apart, especially if he target fires with them. It's going to be absolutely a massacre.
What I really like is that at this point, YugiOh, just think about his position. He just moved in there, took down the third, so he knows now he has a good army. He has taken down his opponent's third base, and he immediately starts 13 additional drones. Is now just trying to harass a little bit, checking if there's a base. Maybe he catches his opponent off guard, can force a cancel. In this case, he couldn't, but he just completely drones up, gets his economy, starts with the Spire so that he has something in play against his opponent's carriers. And look at his creep spread. This guy has 10 active creep tumors on the map right now, and he's already halfway down to his opponent's main base. I really love what he's doing.
He's doing a great job. Now we see the Anion Pulse Crystals.
Look at it. 2 additional Stargates.
I'm surprised he's making Anion Pulse Crystals, considering that he only has 2 Phoenixes out on the map right now. He's not actually making the Graviton Catapult. Actually, I'm mistaken. That's actually the wrong icon. Guys, I don't even know what Catapult looks like.
But look at these upgrades. We have already +3 halfway done. He's getting 2 additional Stargates right now.
Here's the thing.
He's so committing.
14 Corruptors are coming out here. Now, the reason why Corruptors are sometimes considered to be the wrong choice, many people would choose Mutas in this case, is because not only Void Rays, but just simply because carriers do well against big targets, but if they have to switch targets often with the way the interceptors fire and the way the priority works, it doesn't kill small units like Zerglings and Mutalisks as quickly and as well. But it's a hard choice to make. Corruptors do bonus damage to armored. They're going to be a pretty decent choice here. It's all going to come down to the Fungals and how we can engage them. Yeah, that as well.
Corruption is actually an awesome spell against carriers. It's really worth it. But he has to have a good unit composition here. And he's also getting the Neural Parasite upgrade, so he might just be able to catch 1 or 2 of the carriers with the Neural Parasite to stall time.
This is really cool. He's actually trying to camp the Starport and kill units that spawn. He's actually damaged the Phoenix so significantly already.
That is really cheeky.
Oh, he's going to fumble these carriers. No, he misses. He gets only the Phoenixes.
Yeah, but he needs to be careful here. The problem that YugiOh is facing right now, he might have a lot of Corruptors, and he's getting 12 additional ones, but look at the upgrades.
Yeah.
And we have the Anion Pulse Crystals now, so he has the range upgrade for the Phoenix.
Yeah, he's starting a ton of Phoenix production as well because he knows he can rally them out faster. He wants to pick up these Infestors if he can, so this carriers can just do the real damage. And probably at this point, he's going to start, he's adding up a few more gateways. He's probably just going to start Stalker production here.
Look at the mini-map.
I know, it's actually, his creep is about to start spreading into cannons at this point. Great creep spread from YugiOh, man.
This is ridiculous.
This is such a weird game to cast. Now he's actually starting to push with
It's
Spore
awesome.
Crawlers.
I love it.
I love this, man. This is actually so cool. And it looks like Lure's not going to hesitate, but a Fungal hits all the Phoenixes.
That's the boss Fungal right there. And here come the Corruptors trying to take down these carriers. Immediately the Corruption spell as well. But oh my god, he's struggling a little bit. The Corruptor
Phoenixes,
count
man.
is down to 16 and the Phoenix do so much damage. This is so close.
He neurals several of the carriers, though,
This is
and
so important.
this is actually going to win him the fight because the Spore Crawlers as well are adding damage in, and GG!
What an amazing game. I really like this. This was a lot of fun. And this is exactly what we said before. YugiOh might not be like Code's champion material right now, but this play is just amazing. And Lure, oh god, I love this. I love this commitment to Stargate units. But you said it, the Neural Parasite in the last fight, that really made a huge difference. Suddenly, he had control over 3 carriers. It was over.
With Infestors out on the map, you have to have some answer for that. And usually, you mix in some Colossi, and it's hard to say, well, how can he afford Colossi and that many carriers? Well, he probably shouldn't have made as many carriers. Probably should have tried to get some Colossi out, because the Fungals and the Neural Parasites are the deciding factors in that battle. Even though it wasn't really about the immobility of the Phoenixes after he fungled, but just the damage alone. I mean, when he grabbed those carriers, the Phoenixes rather, they were still able to hit the Corruptors because they had the energy upgrade. But what? I guess I should tell the viewers what just happened. Like, Calder just got offered ice cream from Sella.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't like ice cream, so I'm not gonna eat any.
You're just jealous because he didn't.
No, I'm serious. No, I don't like ice cream actually. If you look it up on Wikipedia, there's a fact about it online. I don't like ice cream.
Some kind of berry chocolate mixture. I like it.
Interesting. Well, the Infestors.
Interesting. Now be quiet.
The Infestors, man, they were key in that last battle. That's all I want to say. The carrier composition was interesting. Probably not ideal, but when you're ahead, you can do things like that. It didn't work out for him in the end, though.
Think about one thing for a second. Just think about if YugiOh would have started with Mutalisks instead of Infestors.
That would have been horrible. Consider if Laura went for a gateway follow-up after the Phoenixes rather than the 3rd Stargate as well. That could have been deadly. Or a Tactic Colossus. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into Game 2. Don't go anywhere. This is Calder and Wolf for Code.